Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, I am joined by Rocky. He is a college student in Seattle. He is an author, and he is the founder of the nonprofit organization UP, which stands for Unlimited Potential. Rocky focuses on exclusivity in sports, regardless of disability. He's been supporting a lot of research on it, so we're going to be talking to him about that. So, Rocky, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Curtis, for having me. I'm actually in high school.
Oh, you're in high school?
Yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I know I saw something about the east side of Seattle, so maybe you're taking college classes.
Yeah, so I go to Eastside Preparatory School, private school in Washington here, and I'm 16 years old, and I'm the founder for nonprofit Enable Up, or Enable Unlimited Potential.
Perfect. So just keep telling us a little bit about yourself and, about your organization and what it does.
Yeah, so I'm really passionate for sports medicine research and really creating STEM awareness within my community in Washington here. And so I play varsity basketball and district level. I'm a district level track and field athlete. However, I got really interested in research and in sports medicine when in 2021 when I was playing basketball. I actually suffered an ankle sprain, a grade 2 ankle sprain. So I was out for around 8 weeks, and that really took me out of the season. And I was really bummed to be, missing time due to injury. And this kind of led me to ask myself the question of like, how could I have prevented this? Why did this happen to me? And really, I went through a lot of research in order to, solve this question. Why do ankle injuries happen? How can you prevent them? And I actually published a research paper, which is now in the American Journal of Sports Science, which basically talks about how branched chain amino acid supplementation helps to prevent lateral ligament ankle injuries in basketball players. And this also led me to try to see how I can help other people and how I can, use my research and research of big hospitals to prevent injuries like sports injuries that happen to me and prevent this for other people, as well as enable them to be able to play sports. Because I know sports is a really big unifier in the world right now, and it connects people and brings them together. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of people are not able to play sports due to being differently abled or maybe being older or having an injury that causes them to not be able to play anymore. So I wanted to focus on research and funding for research that helps these people and just basically creating awareness through my foundation, through my fundraisers. And I really started this foundation when I visited the Seattle Children's Hospital, which is close by, and I had a good look into, the field of orthopedics of medicine, and I saw, a lot of different patients who, they were differently able. And it's really struck me home, and my love for research, along with this, really helped me to kind of create the idea to build this foundation to help people through awareness and through research funding.
So tell us about some of the organizations that you are working with to make this research happen and what you guys are working on.
Yeah, so right now we're running 4 fundraisers right now, and we call these micro campaigns because they're really about $3,000 to $5,000 goals for each company, each foundation, and we aim to finish these within a few weeks and kind of move to the next so that we can get a wide range of funding for various causes. There's so many different causes that you can really fund for. So we like to kind of create awareness for a lot of them, and we do this by the micro campaigns and finishing them quickly with my team here at UP. And we work with 4 different foundations right now. We have the Hospital Seattle Children's, so we have orthopedic research there with in terms of research for prosthetics and bionics, and helping people who maybe have lost a limb, and funding for creating those prosthetics and bionics that can help them get back to a sport or get back to walking again. And then we work with the Fred Hutchinson Center, and there I work with cancer research and in specific bone sarcoma cancer research, and this is really targeted towards youth as well. And bone sarcoma cancer is very common, so research to find a cure for that. And then I also work with the Sports Institute at UW, University of Washington. And there I'm really focusing on two things. The first is Exercise RX, which is basically to combat physical inactivity, which is kind of like a digital health program, which consists of like, a patient app and a prior dashboard, which kind of helps the healthcare, so helps like the Sports Institute to prescribe physical activity to, those who maybe don't get out as often or aren't as active. And along with that, with the Sports Institute, I'm also helping for mental health research and in sports, so in athletes and youth athletes. And mental health research is really important. Mental health awareness in general is important for, high school athletes because I know how hard it is me playing sports to, manage a lot of different things at once, sports, school, extracurriculars outside. And it's really hard to do that. And it has a big toll on your mental health. So I think raising more awareness on that is really important. So we're also funding research for that, and we have those four going right now. But we're always looking to expand. We're talking with various different colleges and universities and seeing if we can help fund their medicine research programs.
Sounds like you got a lot going on at your young age. You guys also
Yeah.
got two research papers going on. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, so I've already published a research to the American Journal of Sports Science, and that was on branched chain amino acids in helping to prevent muscle soreness, which in effect basically prevented lateral ligament ankle injuries. So basically, for the viewers, it's how BCA supplementation, which is a supplementation that you can take, and how that prevented ankle injuries. And we found that was able to prevent ankle injuries, and you can read that paper on the American Journal of Sports Science. I think it's in volume 11, issue 1. And then now I'm really working on a research in a lab with in Indiana University. And I'm working with Dr. Padu, who is a PhD professor, and he's worked at Duke. He's really awesome. And basically what we are researching there is there's an eye disease called glaucoma. And so I found out about glaucoma through my grandmother actually has it. And basically glaucoma is a disease in your eye that causes you to lose vision over time. So as you get older, and it's called the silent killer of sight, basically because it's unrecognized. You can't really recognize it until it happens. So it's really hard to prevent. However, there is ways to, kind of slow it down. And, obviously we're researching to find any way to prevent it through like biomarkers. And what we're researching is kind of connecting it with exercise science. And we found that aerobic exercise is able to prevent internal eye pressure, which is what causes, the glaucoma. And we're doing studies on that at Indiana University. And I'm really trying to find the answer for how can we, prevent this glaucoma disease, because I actually have a high chance of getting it through it being a hereditary disease. So I want to, solve this problem for myself and for everyone around the world. And I'm doing that, trying to bring in sports science into that with studying aerobic research there, aerobic exercise there.
Well, actually, just to let you know, I was born blind due to congenital glaucoma. It's hereditary for me too.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really unfortunate that many people, there's really nothing they can do. It's not like a lifestyle cause, like so. I'm really trying
Absolutely.
to, I'm really trying to, raise awareness for stuff like this because I know a lot of people, kind of just don't. If it's not happening to them, they just don't think about it. So raise
Absolutely.
awareness and fund research, and I'm doing my own research, so trying as much as I can to help the community.
Great. So tell us about the committee that you sit on, the high school sports policy making board. You're really doing a lot with that. Tell us about that and what you're up to on that.
Yeah, so I play sports, and I think I'm a big leader on my basketball team. I'm the varsity captain. I've been the varsity captain for 2 years now. And I joined the WIAA board, so the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association, which basically runs the high school sports here in Washington. And I joined the LEAP board, which is like a group of, just 16 student athletes from around Washington. And we basically govern different rules, and we basically sit on the board along with the members of the WIA. So we're kind of like the student voice. I act as, you know, a student voice for those here in at my school or at different schools, and kind of and kind of bring their voice into this, the board meetings and stuff like that, where they wouldn't be visible, and try to make their ideas visible through that. And mainly what I'm trying to do there is one big issue right now in high school sports is concussions and head injuries. And this is really due to because in high school, it's kind of overlooked, like concussions and safety is kind of overlooked to where, you get a concussion, but you just want to return as fast as you can so you can finish out the season or you can help your team play. However, this is not really beneficial for health and stuff like that. Even though, you really want to play, it's actually more beneficial to take a longer recovery and then you'd have better performance over time and you can even help the team better. So that's something where I'm trying to research different methods for concussion scanning and, checking if someone has a concussion through various baseline testing and then stuff like that to really assess if someone's brain function is impaired. And this would be to help screen for concussion. So I wrote a blog article on the WIAA website on that right now, and really just governing, health and safety policies on the board is my main role, I think, and getting the vision and the viewpoints the of student athletes around Washington and bringing that into the board with all the members and kind of telling them this is what they feel, this is where they want to maybe like host a state championship game or stuff like that, and kind of bring their voice and ideas to the higher up members where they wouldn't be seen normally.
Okay, talk about your book, your upcoming book. I think it's going to be released in April. Tell the listeners what they can expect when they read it and where they'll be able to pick it up at.
Yeah, so I mean, my book is really everything that I'm talking about right now is going to be in my book, and I'm trying to, I talked about creating awareness through research and funding research, and I think this book is really one of my biggest, goals so far, in that it's able to what it's going to be about is it's called Overcoming Obstacles, and from elite athletes to everyday people, the unlimited possibilities of modern sports science and research. So it's going to be talking about various different, innovations and research that's been going on in the sports community, in the sports medicine community. And we're going to talk about, just for examples, bionics, prosthetics, exoskeletons, 3D printing, sensory feedback. We're going to talk about maybe some therapies and surgeries such as stem cell therapy and low level laser therapy. And then we're going to talk about, different wearables and then genetic research, stuff like that, neuromuscular training for, elder or senior citizens. And we're going to talk about also like yoga and how to, sustain fitness in elderly. And we're going to talk about some supplements that you can take and nutrition. And this book is really going to be it's really going to be for everyone, I think, in terms of the widespread, I think anyone can pick this book up and find something that they can learn something new. And all the proceeds are going to go to my foundation, to my fundraisers, because this along with it, this is basically just awareness, and it's creating, a lot of people don't know about this research. And I think research is one of the biggest things that can help people, because there's some issues that can't be cured right now and can be prevented, and through research is the best way to find out the cures for these. And various hospitals are working on this, but they maybe don't have the funding and stuff like that. And I think my proceeds for this book are going to go towards fundraisers, and it's going to be on the Amazon website, so you can just look up. It's going to be coming out in April. It's going to be just look up Overcoming Obstacles, by me, Rakshit Srinivasan.
Okay. Tell us about any maybe upcoming projects that you guys are working on, or, where you hope to see your organization maybe in 5 years. Let us know about what we can expect from Unlimited Potential.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that we're doing right now in the future is the glaucoma research, and that's going to be taking up a lot of my summertime. I'm gonna be I'm here in Washington, but I'm gonna be traveling to Indiana University there to work with Dr. Padu. And I think really in 5 years, or I might even take it farther, go to 20 years or so. My vision for UP is to have raised by then. I think by raised like $50,000 to $100,000, and I want to really make it so that, because right now I feel like it's me. We're in the Washington area. We have a few people outside of Washington, but the whole team is really in Washington. And I want to kind of make this see the volunteer. I want to see the volunteer base kind of growing across the country, maybe even across the world, in different places, Europe, Asia. And I want it to be, governed by democratic processes. So you have maybe a chapter leader here in Washington, or someone is in New York, or someone is in California. And this is really because it's more, I feel like, more awareness to different areas, and there's different research going on everywhere. I know here in Seattle, it's a lot of, there's Seattle Children's and UW are kind of the main hospitals. But if you go, to various places, like if you go to California, you get Stanford, or you can see Harvard's research and stuff like that. And just building my foundation across the country over the next 10 years, 15 years could really help, to raise the awareness levels and make this into and basically raise funds for a noble cause. In each area has a different cause, and each cause is just as important as the next. And I think that building this foundation up, building my foundation bigger is really the biggest goal here. And in 20 to 30 years, part of a big bold vision of mine, or what I kind of what I look towards when I'm trying to fundraise or something like that, is imagine there's no wheelchairs in the year 2040, and everyone is playing sports. No one is felt left out because of some disease or disability that they have, and everyone is able to participate in sports or whatever they want, exercise and stay fit, from the elderly to the differently abled. And there's no muscle or skeletal deformities or anything like that. And everything's able to be healed through research, through various surgery methods, through bionics or prosthetics. And that's kind of the goal that I look towards in 20 years, in 30 years. That's what I want to, happen in the world.
Well, throw out your contact information so people can keep up with everything that you're up to.
Yeah, so I think the biggest way is through my website, enableup.org, and that's where I'll be having all my fundraising links. You can see more information about me, and you can see some of my advisors and the volunteers that I have there. And if you want, you can email me at rakshit.srinivasan24@gmail.com, rakshith.srinivasan24@gmail.com.
Okay, close us out with some final thoughts. Maybe something I forgot to touch on that you would like to talk about it. Just any final thoughts that you have for the listeners.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say to the listeners, don't think about this, or think about, me. You might say like, oh, I'm a high school student, so how can you do all this stuff? Stuff like that is what I'm guessing, the viewers are thinking. But I think I'm really committed to a goal. And if you're committed to a goal, it really drives you and pushes you forward, through all the hard, like, you're gonna have some hard days, but pushes you through it. And I see a lot of, when I'm fundraising, a lot of people say, no, I don't want to donate. But, what pushes me forward is the people who say, yes, yes, I want to donate, or seeing, the smile on someone's face when they are able to stand up and walk, something like that. As I saw stuff like that, I saw at, Seattle Children's, and it really pushed me. And this goal kind of pushes me forward. And I think it's really, having a noble cause is really makes your life more meaningful, I think. And I think if everyone pitches in and donates, $1 or $2 even, if everyone in the world does it, you could gain millions and billions of dollars. So it just takes everyone doing, their little part in helping this big cause, and it'll adds up to, a solution for disabilities, disformities, and enabling athletic excellence for everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rocky. And Rocky, I want to let you know, I got great respect for you. There are a lot of kids doing a lot of things around the world, and you are definitely an inspiration, and I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. You are making a difference in the world, and as you keep going, you're going to be making a even bigger difference. Ladies and gentlemen, please support Rocky and everything that he's doing in any way you can. If nothing else, follow, rate, review, share this episode to as many people as possible. And if you have any suggestions for guests or subject topics, cjackson102@cox.net. Be sure to tell a friend about the show. And as always, thank you for listening. Rocky, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Chris.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.